Starting today, in fact, it has already started, through August 26th. Today through the 26th, the landlords can enroll in the Houston Rental Assistance Program administered by BakerRipley. And to qualify, the landlords' units must be inside the city of Houston. They must agree to waive all late fees and interest, refrain from evictions through September 2020, enter into a payment plan with their tenants through November the 1st, and rescind any prior eviction processes. And so that program starts today, and landlords are already starting to apply. And then beginning 1 week from today, next Monday, August 24th through August the 30th, tenants can begin to apply to receive up to $2,112 for delinquent rent for August or prior months. So, for example, if you owe in 3 prior months, and let's say your rent is $600 a month, then up to three of those months can be forgiven. So that you can start applying, tenants can start applying a week from today, August 24th through the 30th. Again, up to a maximum of $2,112 on your delinquent payments. To qualify, a tenant's landlord must be on the participating landlord directory, and you must have unpaid rent from April through August or in one of those months. Also, prior to April 2020, the tenant must have a household income less than 80% of the area median income and cannot pay rent due to economic harm or healthcare impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm happy to announce that this Wednesday, August 19th, starting at 8 a.m., applications will also officially open for the City of Houston's Small Business Economic Relief Program. That's the Houston Small Business Economic Relief Program. Those applications will start this coming Wednesday at 8 a.m. This is a $15 million grant program, which is funded through the Federal CARES Act, and it was passed unanimously by City Council, so I want to thank each of them for their support of this small business program. It will help small businesses in our city who have been adversely impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. This grant program is also open to local chambers of commerce. To submit an application, you must do so electronically by going to www.cityofhouston-s as in Sam, B as in boy, E as in Ethel, R as in Robert, P as in Paul.org. Applications will close on Friday, September the 4th at 11:59 p.m. And if eligible, a small business or chamber can receive up to $50,000 to cover payroll, rent, personal protective equipment for employees, and marketing expenses. A complete list of eligibility requirements can be found on the application portal. Again, that's at www.cityofhouston-sberg, S as in Sam, B as in boy, E as in Ethel, R as in Robert, P as in Paul.org. We are committed to making sure there is an equitable distribution of funds across the city, and that is why, in addition to our core eligibility criteria, we will utilize a weighted scoring approach in our selection process. We will prioritize applications based on several factors, including geography, to ensure business and historically disenfranchised communities will have access to funds. Employees makeup, businesses that employ low to moderate income Houstonians. Demonstrated access to capital challenges. Legacy businesses, businesses who have been in business 5 years or more, and then a demonstrated ability to be resilient during this pandemic. Marsha Murray, Director of the Office of Business Opportunity, is giving leadership to this initiative, and so I would encourage businesses to apply. I would like to emphasize that SBERP funds will not be distributed on a first-come, first-served basis. Businesses who have demonstrated the most financial need and a high likelihood of surviving the pandemic will be given the most consideration to receive these funds. I would like to thank Vice Mayor Pro Tem Martha Castek Tatum and all of our city council members for bringing this program forward. But Vice Mayor Pro Tem Martha Tatum has given leadership to this initiative. I would also like to thank Director Marsha Murray of the Office of Business Opportunity again for leading the development of the Small Business Economic Relief Program and for working with our program administrator, Houston Business Development, Inc., HBDI. If you did not qualify for other federal or local programs or did not receive enough funds, I invite you to apply for Houston Small Business Economic Relief Program. We know small businesses throughout our community have suffered greatly due to this global pandemic, and this grant program is another step to help Houston small businesses towards recovery while we wait on Washington, D.C. to render additional aid. I've given an overview of these two programs, the Rental Assistance Program and the Small Business Economic Assistance Program. Tom, if you'll come and just give us, tell us how things are moving as of today.
Thank you, Mayor. On the rental assistance for our landlords who participated in the first round, we opened the portal for them just before 7 a.m., and those applications have been coming back. Those landlords agreeing to the additional payment plan terms that we've put in place. And then as of 10 a.m., we opened the portal for all landlords. The one thing I will say is, regardless of where you are in the region, inside or outside the city, it is the same portal that you can go to and just type your address in, and you will, the BakerRipley site will let you know whether you qualify for the city program, the county rental program, or for both programs. They are running simultaneously. We are coordinated with them. The last thing, the mayor spoke and gave a good overview of everything that is in place right now. The last thing I would say is, as it relates to the payment plan, one of the things we've heard from landlords and tenants is that they need to be talking to each other. And so we hope that that payment plan brings tenants and landlords together to talk about their specific situations and work through a plan to make sure that the tenant is doing what they can to pay their rent, and the landlord is doing everything they can to keep that tenant in place. We appreciate both tenant and landlord participating in this. We look forward to a successful rollout. Thank you, Mayor.
Don't go too far, Tom. Let me just say that between the city and the county, or with the city and the county, we're talking about an infusion of $45 million in rental assistance. And then with the landlords working with us, for example, in the city's program, if one tenant at one complex receive assistance, the cash assistance, then the landlord is agreeing not to evict anyone at that complex. So an example, if there are 200 units at this complex, if one tenant at one of those units gets the cash benefit, then the landlord is agreeing not to evict anyone in that 200-unit complex. So we're leveraging the dollars that we're putting forth to go even further. Even more people will receive the benefit, and then they're agreeing not to evict anyone through the month of September. Let me also make something very clear, because we have a city of 640 square miles, and we have Harris County as well as, Vice Mayor Pro Tem, some Fort Bend. So let me just say to those individuals in Fort Bend that live inside the city of Houston, you're also eligible for this program. So I want that to be very, very clear. For those individuals who live in Fort Bend, but they live inside the city of Houston, this program covers the entire 640 square miles. But between the city's program and the county's program, both being administered by BakerRipley, you're talking about $45 million in cash assistance on behalf of our people who are renting in the city of Houston and Harris County. Now, Marsha, Director Murray, if you will come and give the highlights of the Small Business Economic Relief Program.
So the Office of Business Opportunities is so excited to be able to provide this additional resource for our local small business community. In addition to the financial assistance of up to $50,000 in grants, I really want to highlight the technical assistance aspect of this program. So the funds will be distributed in two phases. Once a business is determined to be eligible for the program, they'll receive the first half of the funds that have been designated for them. The second half will be distributed after they've completed a recovery and resiliency technical assistance component of this program, which actually includes providing advisory services, capacity building resources, information about strategic planning, as well as allowing their businesses to pivot to be able to survive this pandemic and thrive beyond. So we're really excited to really provide those two components of this program to businesses that are in dire need at this time.
And I want to emphasize with regards to both programs, the rental assistance program and the small business economic relief program, neither one is on a first come, first served basis. So you don't have to feel like you just got to rush in. Both are being evaluated, both have their own matrix, both based on need, and we want to make sure that we're helping those businesses that need our help the most. And then on the business economic relief program, the assistance can go up to as much as $50,000. But I, too, like Director Marshall, want to emphasize the technical assistance and the other elements that we are providing for our businesses so that they can weather, quote unquote, the storm of this pandemic. I want to thank, I see Andy, I want to thank Andy Eakin for helping out on both of these programs. Thank you, Andy. I really appreciate your assistance on both. And again, I want to thank the landlords for working with us. Having said all of that, and again, I certainly want to thank the council members for giving leadership to both of these programs while we wait on DC. And I just know DC will be coming soon, before the year is out.